How important is your legacy? That's next on StonePark Podcast. Dream, build, connect. Welcome once again. I am David, your host. Across from me, my co-host, Carlos.
David, what's going on,
What's
man?
going on?
We are back at it.
Back at it.
That's right.
That's a blessing.
It is.
Each episode, to me, that we put out is a blessing.
That's right.
So I'm very thankful for that. Let's get into it. What is legacy to you?
Legacy. Legacy is a memory, a timestamp, a story, your history, your novel, what's you. You know, what you're leaving behind. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's two things, and I know you'll agree with me. What you leave.
Yeah.
Like money, property, tangible items. What do you leave?
Yeah.
And then the impact.
Yeah.
What were you about?
That's right.
Who was Carlos?
That's right.
What was he about? So when did you actually start thinking about legacy?
You know, legacy started to kind of like impact me where I started really thinking about it more when I had my kids. Because, you know, just the fact of having kids and having your child, that's legacy for itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're out and when we're gone, they will still be here, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that came from you, you know what I mean? So it's your legacy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody, regardless of whether you have money, you don't, whether you did something, you didn't, if you have a child, that's legacy. You're going to leave legacy behind no matter what.
Yeah, if you have a child, you're winning.
You're winning.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Exactly.
That is your legacy.
Your legacy is your kids. So if you have a kid, you have legacy. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have the riches, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. You know, I mean, if you have kids, that's legacy.
Yeah, stupid thought here, but when I was younger, I thought legacy was Jordan. So, trying to think here. When he hit his last shot as a Chicago Bull, it was Game 6 in the 98 finals. And we didn't know what we know now with The Last Dance, like what was really happening. But that dude hit the last shot and just done.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's like amazing.
Right.
And then he has the brand, the shoe brand. What a tremendous legacy.
Oh, tremendous.
And then he comes back as a Wizard. So we're from the DMV. We're kind of happy about that. But I felt a little weird because he wasn't jumping as high.
That's right.
His knees were kind of banged up. He was looking a little bulkier, a little meaner. And one of the last, I can't remember, the one episode we talked about meeting your idols. What's funny is I never met Michael Jordan, but I was in the same room as him in a club.
Yeah.
And I was with my friends in the corner and, oh, that's Michael Jordan. And it was one of the nights he dropped. He was a Wizard. He dropped, I think it was like 40, something in the 40s.
Yeah.
And he had a cigar, you know, in his mouth, and he had like 3 chicks on him, and he's just kind of like dancing. And one of my friends was like, oh, you should go up to him. I was like, hell no. For what? For what? The dude is chilling. You know, I didn't want to. I just had a feeling in my heart that let him be the idol. Let him be that guy that shot, you know, the game winner in Game 6. But going back to the Wizards, I just couldn't understand. Oh, why'd you do that? You ruined your legacy. You ruined it. Oh man, you didn't even make the playoffs. You didn't win another championship. And as I got older, I realized that your legacy keeps going. It doesn't, you know, you can't leave it at a batting 1,000 or shooting that last shot. There's still going to be some failures after your successes. And what I saw from Jordan, an older Jordan, that he knew that he wasn't going to win a championship. What he was trying to do is show the younger players on that team, this is how it's done. This is how you win. And was he successful? Not really. But now looking back, I think his Wizards days should be recognized. You know, even though they didn't win, go to the playoffs or anything like that, it adds to his legacy as in, hey, let me see you do it at 40. Let me see you do it when you stop something for a couple years and then just come back out of nowhere. Yeah. And that, to me, the Wizards does build to his legacy. You know, even though it's a knock when you're comparing like him and LeBron James, the LeBron James fans will be like, well, look at LeBron James at 39, 40 years old. He's killing it. You can go back and forth, but I mean, the dude played 82 games, a full season. You're not even that age. I am. I know what the knees feel like and the back feels
82
like.
82 games is crazy.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to agree with you. The kids do add to it, but I think the biggest thing were the losses in business. The losses. I took some big losses, and I'm like, whoa. The money that I made, it's not there anymore. You know, so I'm kind of down to zero again, and I got to build back up. And you could do that a few times, but the older you get, the more fearful you become.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, whoa, why am I doing this? Should I have done this over here? You start second guessing yourself. And that's where I felt, what do I want my legacy to be? You know, is it being successful in business? Is it, you know, leaving something for my kids? Is it being a good human being? I remember.
I think it's all of the above.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. When Mike's dad passed, the funeral was packed. Will my funeral be packed? I don't know. I think if Mike passed, his funeral would be packed. And if your funeral isn't packed, I'm not saying that you're living life incorrectly, because let's say it's not packed, but it's half full with people that really admire you or adore you. I guess it's, what's going to happen when I pass? What are people going to think about me? And yeah, I think what the losses in business start making me think that, because I spend all my time doing this. And what is it all for? So would you consider legacy being seen as selfish?
It is a little selfish, because, you know, you're so worried about, you know, leaving something behind because you want to leave something behind for you, of you. So it can be a little selfish, but at the same time, you're thinking ahead for others. You'll never meet your great grandkids. You'll never meet them. You just have no idea, but they can meet you. Right? So now, by leaving a legacy, you are thinking ahead for them. You're doing them a favor to leave your footprint so they can meet you. It's not them thinking, because they're not. You're not in that generation, you know. But if you could start thinking ahead and say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make these videos to speak to my future generation, you know, to my great grandkids that I definitely won't meet. Well, here's this. Yeah. So is it selfish? At the moment it is, but ultimately it's really not, because you're doing it for your, you know, those people that you care about. Because really that's what it is. You know, you're not really doing your legacy. It's not really for just the random Joe, you know, out there. I mean, if they care to care, then that's awesome, right? They'll follow your legacy. They'll care for your legacy. They'll bring up your legacy. They'll bring you up in conversations, right? But ultimately, you know, this is more for your family. I see it more for the future.
Okay, so then what about other people? So the family, you make sense what you're saying, because my answer would be, yeah, it is selfish because we're trying to like leave something behind.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you left your mark and that it was recognized and that
So it's a me.
Yeah, totally. And then we mask it with, yeah, but it's for you. I'm doing it for you. It's really for us.
Yeah.
But our family is us, so that they benefit from it.
I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you want to know 4, 5 grandparents back to see videos and understand them and see a video? Just imagine this, right? You look at a video of a grandparent 5 generations back that's saying, from a future generation, this message is for you. 5 generations from today, this is for you. If you ever get to see this, and you're like, wait, whoa, I'm the 5th generation. Like, dang, he's talking to me, and I come from that bloodline. Like, that's my family root. It's crazy, man.
Or even a couple. Like, I was looking at a picture of my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He was all suited up, and he had his hat, and he has this pose. He's like to the side. He's posing. He's very handsome. Mm-hmm. And I can see where he's my grandfather. I could see it in the eyes, and I could see it. And then I was scrolling over and I see a picture of my daughter who's doing the same pose. And she's not, she's in her nice dress and she got the pose. And they got the same eyes and same eyebrows. And I'm thinking, I'm like, we used to call him Huito because we couldn't say abuelo. We say Huito. And in my head, I'm like, Huito, did you ever think that this would come out of what you did? Because if he didn't go out there and make the sacrifices that he did, my daughter wouldn't exist. And
that's right.
And that's cool. So going back to what we were talking about, family and just having kids is legacy. You just keep going on and on and on.
That's legacy. Now, I respect, there's a lot of people that they're like, no, man, I'd rather not have kids. And that's fine. Everybody is entitled to whatever they want to do, right? But I see it, me personally, I see it as like, if you don't, when we are out and when you're gone, you're gone, you like, it stops there. You know what I mean? You leave nothing behind. That's where it ends with you,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, other than that, if you have kids, then, that lives on, you know what I mean? And then so forth, so.
Yeah. I think when I die, I'm still going to be around, like still kind of maneuvering around, depending what happens, because we don't know what happens. We might go straight to heaven, might have to go below. And if I go below, I'm hustling to get up. So
you might be doing the bird sign.
So I would figure out a way. So then that's going to be a whole hustle. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously I'm going to look out for my family. So like you said, bird signs, I might be a hawk. What's funny is that you told me in one of our other episodes, we were talking about how the universe speaks to us. And I had a story about a hawk in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you told me you got to name him. And,
yeah, you do.
And
man.
I kind of had a name for him because at the same time that I was looking at the picture of the hawk, that's when I was looking at my grandfather's picture and my daughter's picture. And my grandfather's name was Hector. And what's funny is that when I was talking about one of the stories in that episode, you yell out because I was talking about Troy.
Hector. Oh.
I told myself when I get some time, I'm going to talk to Carlos about this. I think I got the name for my bird. So when I started looking at the bird and then I looked at my grandfather, I said, I wonder if that is my grandfather. I wonder if that's him and he's chilling out, looking out for me. There's just a weird feeling. Even talking about it gives me goosebumps because you try to put everything together and who knows, that might be, nothing there, but it could be everything. So anyway, that's how I feel when we expire. We don't know what's going to happen. It could be just black. then that's it. But it could be that it's the same as this, and then you kind of figure it out, and then you got to get out of it. So going back to my grandfather, when he had passed, my grandmother was still alive, and I would go visit her place, and she still had a lot of his knickknacks.
Yeah.
So I would, every time I go, I take something like old cologne or a pocket knife. And one time I took this little measuring tape and it had his company's name and address on it. And I took it when I was, I don't know, 10 years old, and I kept it and found it like a year ago and looked up the address, and I imagined my grandfather, opening up a business. He rented out an entire floor, and it was the top floor of I want to say like a 30-story building. So it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think about it, and I say to myself, when he walked in there, was he thinking about his legacy? Was he thinking about his son, which is my father? Was he thinking about his grandkids? I probably wasn't even thought of, or maybe I was. I'm not sure. But it just goes to show you that I'm thinking of him.
Yeah.
And I had a moment in my head. I said, man, wouldn't it be awesome if I bought that building or something crazy like that? I mean, it would probably be $100 million, but that's what legacy is. It's that memory, it's that impact, and knowing that he was an entrepreneur means a lot to me. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Silly question. Would you rather leave nothing and be a good person? Everyone, your family, your friends, they all love you. Tremendous impact.
Yeah.
Right? You was a good guy. Or leave 100 million. I wanted to say milli, couldn't, but 100 million to your family, and you are I. You are I.
Man, it's tough because I definitely wanna leave them off good, but at the same time, I think, the importance of good impact of leaving good morals and teaching them the right, it's better at the long run. They're respected more. Like you said, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of all that sacrifice if, they never cared for you?
I think I would have to take one for the team and take the 100 million.
Yeah. You're all about the money.
Yeah, I'm not, but I mean, yeah, I would depend on my wife to give the good values. She's a good woman. She's a good woman. I think she could take care of that. And I'll take one for the team because.
But what is that? What is the, all right. So money is important. 100%. Like, I mean, we all know that. But if you're just a shitty person.
Well, not. I said, all right.
Well, what is.
And I said it that way so it can be different meanings there.
So if it's all right. I mean,
and look, I say that
it's actually a tough question, man. Because
I know, because I went back and forth. The right answer is what you said, right?
I mean,
like if my son was watching this 10, 20 years from now, he's like, damn, daddy, you picked that over me? Absolutely not. It's more so picking the money because I'm betting on you guys to do right with it and take it to the next level and really live life.
Look, man,
and someone might not say that life is that, and I get it, but
yeah. So I don't know. I'm the type that I'm like this. I wouldn't hire my son to work with me. Just because that's my son, because whether I want to or not, I will be protecting him from the work. I say I wouldn't, but my father instinct would be like, I don't want him digging. Go do this. Or, hey, grab this. Like I know I'm gonna do it because that's my son. Now I'm the one waking him up. Hey, come on, we have to go to work. So he'll be depending on me, right? Now they could say, "Oh man, damn dad, you don't love me. You don't want to hook me up. You don't want to help me get a job, whatever." You know what I mean? Because I could hear that. You know what I mean? But it's not that. It's that the world out there is the real world. You know what I mean? Well, if you're working with me, that's not the real world. You need to go work at a place where they don't love you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're late at another job, you're gone. If you don't work at another job, you're gone. And if this is what you're learning, if this is what you think real world is, it's not. So if I'm overly protecting, and just giving just to give, and here you're just leaving everything out for you, they ain't learning nothing. And at the moment, yes, it's good because it is good, but at the long run, it's not.
You're making me switch my mind up right now.
Yeah.
So I can go. I was really thinking about this. I know it's a silly question, but I was really thinking about it, that if someone came down and said, look, your family is taken care of, generational wealth, or they have you, that's hard. That's hard because what are we working for? We work hard.
Yeah.
And what is it for? Not to be broke. We're working for money.
Of course.
But what you said right there is making me agree with you that now I'm thinking about my son and my daughter and where are they going to learn certain things? My wife is amazing. She will teach them, but to have the unit is ultimate.
But it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same because, she's like, my wife's the same. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I know that my wife would teach. I'm sure your wife would teach too. But you're the man of the family. You know what I mean? You as a man, you want to show, especially your son as being a young boy, is going to become a man. That, and your wife can teach that. And money's, yes, like I said, money is important. And it's so important, and I get it.
But let's say they have the money. What are they going to do with the money? Right? So it's kind of like, you need to teach them. You need to be there in order for them to understand what the money is for and how to use it and how to get to the next level versus me not really being there and leaving it. And then that money causes destruction.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go with you. Yeah. I'm going to go with you and say that I don't need to leave the money behind, but I'm going to leave the impact.
Yeah, man, because look, whatever you have with the money is just going to amplify whatever you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you were a shitty person, when you have money, you're going to be a bigger shitty person. You know what I mean? If you were a good person, and with money, you're probably going to be a generous person.
What if I picked 100 million? Would you feel differently about me?
No, because that's your decision.
Because really, I really think about it because we work hard for that reason.
I mean, that's what we work for. We work,
right?
Yeah, we work. Of course, that's what I'm saying. Money is definitely important, man. Like 100%. But like I said, like if you are gonna be able to be there and be that person that everybody's like, oh my God, he was such this. That means that you were there. You were present. That means that you were there. You were an active father. You were, you were there in their life, and maybe that. So you were there to show them the right, the wrong, the importance of financial anything, literacy. I mean anything, right? So, I'm sure that then you probably put them on the right path to be somebody. You know what I mean? To not be struggling, financially. You know what I'm saying? But then again, those little struggles make you better. Those little struggles make you a better human being because you go through all the experiences of life.
It's
You know
almost
what
like
I'm
we're taking a sacrifice to not take the money,
Yeah.
to accept that we got to be good parents and good people.
Yeah.
Versus you work and spend all your time working, trying to make money, and that's the excuse for you not being there. So
Yeah.
I think that's good. I liked your answer, and really you could go both ways, but I agree.
can.
I agree with you
Yeah,
because
you can.
they both have merit.
They're both right answers, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But me personally,
Yeah.
I would lean more on like, not leaving nothing. No, I don't know. I mean, what is nothing? Like on the street? You know what I mean? Like, so it's super important.
I think the question really is, would you rather leave impact or money?
Yeah.
Which one, right?
Impact. I think, look, that's another thing too. If your family says, hey man, leave me the money, that says a lot about your family too.
I guess this episode is really for people with children or people planning to have children, because I guess I couldn't think in the mindset of someone that doesn't have a child and what their legacy is going to be. Not saying that they're not striving for legacy. This is pretty much people that want kids or have kids.
Yeah.
So do you even think the kids care?
Listen, it's funny because they do and they don't. We did and we didn't.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that because we all been there, right? I have, like, for example, my son Christopher. He's 15. Years prior, he would come over every weekend. Like, that's the arrangement we had every weekend. I'll just have him with me. And now that he's 15 and he's into girls and then everything,
Ghost.
yeah, he's just like he sends me a message. I think on a Thursday or Wednesday, just beforehand. You know what I mean? He's like, hey Dad, good morning. How you doing? Hey, just want to let you know that I won't be coming over this weekend. I'm gonna be with my girlfriend. I got plans and this and that. And I'm in mind. I'm like, cool, man. Like, all right.
That joint must hurt.
I'm like, all right, man. Cool. And it's kind of like, all right, and it's not the first time, so, like, they all got to live their lives. You know what I'm saying? But, we everything we do, it is for them, and they care, but not as much as we would want them to care. Because, but they're not there mature, like their mind is not mature yet.
Yeah.
So they're not going to understand it.
I always tell you that when I pick up my son after school, I will never, ever be late, ever. I will drive through anything, any stop sign, any person, any backyard, any tree. I will destroy to make sure that I'm right there and my son isn't waiting for me like, Daddy, Daddy, where are you? For some reason, he has that over me. And to know that he's going to grow and have hairy legs and tell me via text, hey, Dad, we're not going to chill this weekend because I'm, chilling with my girl. I'll be like, okay, cool. Yeah. But it's going to hurt.
What are you going to say? No,
But I'll tell you one thing. An older gentleman told me this. He said, enjoy it while it lasts, right? And they always come back. Just wait. So that's my advice to you. I haven't gone through it because mine are 5 and 3, but there's going to be a time where Christopher's going to come back. It might be around 30, and we all did it. You respect the parents and you want to chill with them and you want to know how did they do this and how did they do that, and that's the rebirth of the relationship. Yeah. So they'll definitely come back.
Yeah, definitely, man. It is it does hit you in the gut, mm-hmm. When you start getting older, and what used to be daddy, I need this, I want that, to kind of like, You know, yeah, I'm more independent. You know what I mean? And of course, that's great. You know, I mean, independence is great. You know, but you know, then you start feeling like, damn, they don't need me no more.
Right. And then you start thinking, well, what am I doing all this for? And
exactly. And that's why I'm saying it's like you have to be a little selfish.
Yeah.
You do. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, you know, make it for yourself. This legacy, it is do it for you, because at the end of the day, when they open their eyes and they mature and realize like, oh man, hold on, and they do come back.
Yeah.
You already, you know, you've laid that foundation, you know what I mean? That legacy, you built, you know what I mean, towards that legacy.
And you're also giving them a blueprint, because they're going to have kids.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing's going to happen to them. And I think that's good advice, that you get selfish. You know,
Yes.
Obviously you'll always be there, but now that they don't need you like that, don't waste time boo-hooing. Oh, why aren't you with me? No, look at it, take it on the chin, and say, you know what? I'm going to focus on me. And whatever that is, whether it's your business, your health, now it's time, because we do crazy things. There was a point in time where I saw Mateo like every day of his life for like 4 years, like every sneeze, every this, every that. And it starts to
send them off to school.
It starts to wear on you. And then when you do send them off to school, you don't know what to do. You're like, damn, I can work out. I can do this, whatever it is. So I think that's good advice. You got to be selfish.
Very, very true. When
you die, and I hope you live many, many years. Let's try to get to like our 90s. That's what I always tell Mike. I want to get into the 90s. I want to be the dude smelling like leather. You know what I'm saying? In the cut. And they're like, oh, that's just grandpa. He's smelling like leather, but still, you know, wearing Jordans, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
When you die, a long time from now, how do you want to be remembered? And what do you physically want to leave behind? So I guess the theme here is the impact, and what are you leaving?
Impact. I want to, you know, just leave the impact and the idea, the thought of never giving up, you know, like always fight through, always figure it out. Don't ever let, you know, things, situations, problems just stop you, or, you know, like make you feel like everything is done, you know, because it's not done until it's done, you know. So just the fighter spirit, you know, leave behind a story of like, man, you know, he never gave up, you know, he always tried to do everything. And what would I like to leave behind? Also, you know, I would like to be remembered, you know, as like a good father, you know, because I can't say I'm a great father, you know, I can never be perfect, you know. I would want to be a good husband, you know, a good son, good brother, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Leave behind, now with this new age, with this new technology that we have, we're blessed to be able to have videos, you know. Technology nowadays is something that our great grandfathers didn't have. You know, they didn't have cameras. You know, they didn't have devices where stuff can be left behind. My father has a cassette of my grandmother, which is his mother, where that she's talking. You know, like she's talking, and he recorded her in cassette tape player. You know. And he has her audio, and, you know, I have it now. He gave it to me. And it's like his prized possession, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the actual voice of his mother, my grandmother. So I could see the importance to him just having that little bit of audio on a cassette, you know? And that right there made me feel like, man, well, I get the opportunity to be able to film video, you know, in good quality. So why not do the same for my generations to come?
Yeah,
and
that's a
leave
good
that.
one.
So
Yeah, that's a good one.
what about you? What would you like to be remembered for or leave behind?
So I want to be remembered, the people closest to me, that we had memories that you can always fall back on, and not just one memory, memories that we really had something, that we were connected in a different way.
Yeah.
So whether it be my wife, which that's easy, but my son, my kids, my sister, my father, my mom, like the immediate, and the close friends.
Yeah.
The close friends that they knew the true me, and they knew that I had their back, and we had good times, we had bad times, we had times.
Yep.
And that someone says my name and they just kind of nod their head and they recognize.
Yeah.
For leaving personal property, possessions, business, this one's hard because I think I work so hard and I want to leave something so bad and so valuable, like a brand or a company. Like I want to make it easy for my children. But we've talked about this in the past, that it might not be a good idea, or they might not want to do it. So my mission is to have a killer real estate development company, a killer movie production company, and I must get that second film out there, and I got to hit it hard.
Yeah.
And I want my kids to know that, hey, my dad did that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if he did that with the tools that he had,
you might inspire.
We could do that.
Yeah.
So that's I guess that's seen as selfish, because really they don't care about those things. But it goes back to what you're saying, that I'm living too. I'm someone's child as well. Just because I have children doesn't mean that I don't have purpose here. And it doesn't have to solely be on the children.
Yeah.
We're all a unit. I believe that we live in this world and our souls are all connected. And maybe the last life you and I were brothers. We're all connected somehow, and we're all moving in a unit.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to help each other and find our way. But I think that would make me happy, that I kill it with a film. I mean, like, ridiculous. People are saying, how did you do it? And it's not about ego. It's more so I've been thinking about it for so long. And the people around me know that. And I want to make it happen. And he set out to do it, kind of what you said, never give up.
Yeah.
He had a mission and he completed it. And it, regardless of what industry they get into, whatever they do, it's kind of the same formula, that they have a dream or a goal, and they just never give up. And they look at dad, and I'm kind of taking yours, that they look at dad and say he never gave up.
You know how much character that will build in your kids to know that, man, my dad never gave up.
And it goes back to the 100 million.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even arguing for that 100 million anymore. Now I'm feeling like inspired as far as, it's more so the impact.
It's an impact, man, because that 100 million, yes, it sounds great. Like, of course, right? I mean, we worked for that.
Yeah.
But that's the word. We work for that.
Oh, right.
That's the key word. We're working for that. You know what I mean? And that working for it, this was building the characters, was building everything, the characteristics of a person. You know what I mean? Like the trial and error, the fails, the getting back up. That's the work. That's the build part. But if you just hand over the 100 million, you skip the whole. You go from dream to connect.
I looked up. So I have a Modelo shirt on.
Yeah.
And you have one, not on, but you have one. I have a sweatshirt.
I had one.
Yeah. So Carlos and I, we've been meaning to film, and then things get in the way and we don't film. But he, a couple times, had the Modelo shirt on, and I looked at him. I said, man, I was about to wear that, but I didn't. Today, in my mind, I said, I'm going to wear it. he's not wearing it.
And I was so close to getting
But anyway, the reason why it kind of connects to this is that I just quickly did a wiki on it. And I said, do the Modelo family still own it? Like, how long has it been? And I didn't read that much. I was in the car. And I think they were bought out multiple times, you know, and how would that make me feel that here I am crafting the beer and I'm
developing a brand.
Yeah. So I don't know how I would feel. And that's kind of what it is. You get an asset. What do you do with assets? You sell them. What do you expect? Mm-hmm. And then those people get the money and they do their ventures. So this thing that we're doing, your company, that's your thing. And you shouldn't have it in mind always for the next, right? I think it's more so giving them the tools. We had Lucio on one of our podcasts. He's a tattoo artist. And he said that his father owned a business and was hoping that Lucio would take over. Yeah. But Lucio had no desire to do what his father was doing. He wanted to do tattoos. But the funny thing that Lucio said was he has 4 kids. One of them better take over his business. And it's kind of the same thing. Yeah. He might fall victim to what his dad did. No one wants to do tattoos. And now they're going to sell it off. So the entrepreneurs out there, you're building your brand, a successful business. You have to understand that what you're giving might be sold right when you die. So the things that they can't sell are the things that you taught them.
That's right. And that are more valuable. You know, those memories, it goes back to what you were saying. Those not a memory, but memories. You can't buy those. You can't sell those. You know what I mean? Those will forever be embedded, you know? So,
any last thoughts?
Man, we could go on and on this one. This one, you know, these topics, man, I love them because they're real. You know what I mean? These are something that everybody can relate to. These are, you know, I know this is like a entrepreneurship, business type of podcast, but like I told you, this is also life. And you know, legacy, and it's our life, you know what I mean? Our even afterlife, because that's what we're going to leave behind. So, you know, it's important, man, to think about that. Think about what do you want to be remembered for, you know, to the viewer, to the listener. Think about it. Like, really take a moment and ask yourself that question. You know, maybe when you're going to bed, when you're looking at that ceiling and you're trying to go to sleep and you're all to yourself, just really think about it. Like, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to leave behind? The questions that David asked me, ask those questions for yourself. You know what I mean? And you don't got to tell nobody. Just answer that yourself, you know, and really think about it, because it is important, especially if you got kids. Look at your kids and just think about, when you're not here no more, what do you want him or her to remember you really by, and what do you really want to have taught them? Think about their grandkids, your kids' grandkids. You're not going to be there, right? But what can you leave that could possibly be seen by those people? And it's crazy to think about it.
Yeah, I like that. I'll end it off with a story or something that just happened to me. My son is completing kindergarten, and I can't believe that the year has passed so quickly. Yeah. And the school always offers little spots like, come read to the class, come help out with lunch, come do this, come do that. What have I done? Nothing. All right. And I've really depended on my wife to do those things. And like we were talking about, the wife can take care of things, but there are things that I should be taking care of as well. Yeah. And my son was part of a lemonade, I don't know what to call it, but it was an after-school program, and they learn about making and selling lemonade. Yeah. And yesterday was the big finale where they're going to sell it and offer it to the school. And I told my wife, nah, I'm going to go. And I went, and when he saw me, his face just lit up.
Yeah.
And not saying that he's going to remember that for the rest of his life, but it gave me goosebumps that, hey, Dave, man, this is what you're missing. Because the way his face lit up, I see it. And if you believe that there's something after death, maybe it's the memories that you had when you were living. That would be one, man. Yeah. His beautiful smile and how excited he was, and he ran up to me and gave me a hug. And I said, man, I'm missing some stuff here. And it's because I think I'm busy.
Christopher, my son, right? The one that has the girlfriend.
Good old Christopher.
Good old Christopher.
Shout out to Christopher.
He's also the same one that tells me, hey, Dad, on this date, I have a concert at school. I want you to come, and this and that. And he gets very happy when I show up. The last one, I told him I was going to go, and I missed it. I completely just didn't make it, and I felt bad. I was like, dang. The one prior to that, same thing. Like, I showed up, and he was happy. I could see it in his face, too, that he was like, oh, man, my dad's here, And it's important, man, because these are memories that they're going to remember. Like, yeah, my dad used to come to my shows, to my concerts, to my events, and stuff like that, and be part of it, It's important, man. All those little things, like, money can't buy. You know what I mean? So,
and for the entrepreneurs listening, last little note, you have it in you. The hustle's in you. You're always gonna be doing it. You're always gonna be doing it. There's always a reason why you need to be working harder. So the trick is, you got to step back and see what's important, because it's always gonna be there. You're always going to wake up, and those situations and those opportunities are going to be there. But the time with your kids, and especially Christopher, before he turned 15, especially, you got to cherish those moments.
Yeah, man, 100%. Now, my daughter, Catalina, she's 8 years old. I be looking at her, right?
Here's a contract, Catalina. You stay with daddy until you're 25 years old. She's like, sure, daddy.
I'm serious, man. Like,
it's awesome.
I look at her and I'm just like, man, I got a few more years with you, man. Because I already know, I know that's the life is.
That's good advice for me.
Yeah.
If you like what you're hearing, please give us a follow at StonePark Podcast. If you want to connect with us, you could do so. We got an email set up, connect@stonepark.com. Carlos, until next time, dream, build, connect.